Hello everybody, my name is Cycling is My Whole Life, and cycling is my whole life. I've done 7.1 miles of my 15-mile ride. And sadly, I forgot to hit the start record button. So I lost the first half of my stream. I could continue on where I left off, but I'm not going to. I'm going to save it for another day. And today's message was kind of interesting, and maybe what happened today will influence something later. I don't know. I believe everything happens for a reason, so I'm going to go ahead and just go with the flow, is what it is. So we're just going to finish this stream out. It's not going to be a long one. Just the last 8 miles that I have left, and then we'll call it a stream or a video. Anyway, I appreciate you joining me today. Thank you so much. You're awesome. Hopefully this little bit of motivation is enough for you. Today is Saturday, September 3rd. And you know what? Maybe today, if you're not going to do your 15 miles like I am, but since I'm not going to be here for you for the whole 15 miles, you can maybe take it easy today. Maybe go at a lower intensity, do a little bit of resting. You know, if you're a person who pushed yourself a little too hard in the beginning and you need a rest day, let today be your rest day. Just hang out with me. Regardless, I'm still gonna be here. I'm still gonna get my 15 miles. The important thing is that we're here, putting in the effort every day. Sometimes resting is the effort. You can't work as hard as you can every single day. Some days you're just meant to rest. And resting is actually very good. And you know what? Now that we're on that topic, we'll talk about rest. Since I can't talk about my other story because my other story takes a full hour to go through, and I don't have a full hour anymore. So we'll talk about rest, the importance of rest. And we're going to talk about the time that cycling is my whole life went through exhaustion. Now, exhaustion happens when you don't get enough rest. Now, you may ask yourself, what is rest? Well, most people will say it's just not doing something. So, you awake for too long, you rest, you sleep. You run for too long, you rest, you don't run. You cycle for too long, you rest, you don't cycle. 6 years ago, I went through a big life-changing event, and in order to get over it and process my thoughts and clear my mind, I would exercise. And exercising was the way that I got through those tough times. But it wasn't enough to exercise. I also changed my diet too. So I was no longer eating any carbohydrates. I was fasting constantly and regularly. My fasting was, I believe 18 hours, 20 hours. Pretty much ate 2 meals, dinner and a late dinner. And it was 0 carbs. And it was low calories. So I was doing a lot of exercise, and I was doing minimal resting. It was my mom's 60th birthday. Oops. No. It was my mom's 60th birthday. And I I didn't have enough rest, and I started suffering from exhaustion. Now, sometimes you hear about exhaustion, especially if you're someone who follows celebrities. You hear that celebrities are suffering from exhaustion, and you'll hear things that they do are pretty wild, out of the normal. And people are like, well, how could you be exhausted? All you do is blah, blah, blah. Or all you do is blah, 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 which doesn't seem like they do much. Whether they do or they don't, I'm not here to judge that. But what I'm here to say is, if they're suffering from exhaustion, exhaustion is real, and exhaustion does not feel good. And so, this is why I'm telling you to rest. So it's my mom's birthday. She was turning 60, and I was not feeling good. I was malnutritioned. I was overworked. I was in a really bad place, physically and mentally. And the only thing that I could do to make myself feel better at the time when I wasn't feeling good was exercise. So what did I do when I wasn't feeling well and I was overstressed and overworked? I would exercise more. Sometimes I would go for 2 or 3 5K runs in a day, followed by 15 miles of cycling. It was a pretty crazy time, and I was overdoing it. And I remember I got to the point where I was so exhausted that I was actually concerned for my own well-being. And I'm not like saying like, like, oh man, I think something might be wrong. I'm talking like, I'm scared concerned. Like, I may need to check myself into a hospital scared concerned. Like, impending doom concerned. It was pretty bad. And I laugh about it now just because as I look back and see who I've become and who I am now, it was pretty obvious what the problem was. I needed rest. Survival rounds in any show. Okay, we'll continue with squats. So, what ended up happening is my mom's birthday, I was in a deep panic. Everything felt like doom. All I had was foreboding thoughts, right? Is that how it works? I don't know if that's how I use that word correctly. Everything was bad. And I was a wreck at my mom's birthday. It was pretty bad, man. I feel really bad about it. I apologized to her many times, but she knew what I was going through, so it's fine. Moms are the best. Anyway, I ended up going to my sister's house. Thank you, sister. Her and I were really, really tight at the time. We're still tight. We just don't spend as much time together as we used to back then. And, which you are instrumental, sister, for helping me through my hard times. Just so you know, don't think I never thought about that or underappreciate that. You were a huge help. Anyway, I went to my sister's house and I had something to eat. Carbs. To be specific, bread. Oh man, did I feel so good after eating bread. A little bit of that daily bread never do you any harm, man. And so I ate bread, felt a million times better, stopped working out so hard, stopped fasting as much, and I felt like $1,000,000. Rest, super important. Highly recommend it. So, like I said, what does rest look like? Just take it easy. Stop doing so much of what you're doing if you're doing too much of it. For me, I was running too much and not running enough. I was cycling too much and not cycling enough. I was eating meat and no bread, and then once I got my bread, I was good. They have this saying, everything in moderation. Well, that's very true. I highly subscribe to that. Everything in moderation. So right now, I'm going to bring up another point about moderation, because that is also has to do with rest. My sister was watching my video and she said, "Oh man, your heart rate was 183 during that huge sprint. How do you get it down? How do you cool down?" And I told her, well, for me, it's not as important because my body naturally does it. And the reason why it does it is just because of so much training I have. The more you train, the better that your body is at responding. And I can't cycle at 180. So when I get to 180, I slow down, I rest. So during that big sprint that I did yesterday, I was at 180 for a few seconds, and then I stopped cycling that hard. Now, whether it's because I physically couldn't or because I chose to, it doesn't matter. I went below 180, got to 170, got to 160 heart rate, started feeling better, started cycling again. That was what was important. That little bit of rest, and then I could do it again. And here's what I'm doing now. I'm cycling a little bit more aggressively right now in between the loading screens. As soon as the gameplay starts, I sit up, cycle less aggressively. That's my rest. My heart rate starts to come down. My cadence starts to slow down. Rest, moderation. Now, pros and serious athletes, unlike myself, because I'm not a professional, I'm not a serious athlete either, they can work out every day but do less, and that counts as rest. And they can also do like 4 hours of training every single day and still progress, still have gains. And that's because they have nutritionists and doctors and all these people helping and supporting them, whereas I don't have that. I don't have a nutritionist. I don't have a sports therapist or doctor helping me and supporting me. I have friends who are therapists, sports therapists. I have friends in the medical field, but they're not my doctors. They don't tell me what my body's doing and how it's doing it. So I need to take it easy. And I do. I take it easy by reducing the amount of work, and athletes don't, because they can tailor their effort perfectly because they have all that support, all that insight. Anyway, where was I going with this? Rest, moderation. Right. So that's how I get my rest and moderation. Now, I'm always constantly on the move. If I'm not cycling, I'm hiking. If I'm not hiking, I'm swimming. If I'm not swimming, I'm kayaking. More to come on that in this YouTube channel. You'll see my buddy Jinjo. He's my dog. Jinjo. Jinjo. Like the little bear from Banjo-Kazooie. That's why I called him Jinjo, because he looks like one of those little orange Jinjo bears. And he joins me in my adventures. I posted a little YouTube short the other day that Jinjo in his basket, that's where he rides with me. He's a Pomeranian Papillon mix. Cute little guy. He ran a half marathon with me, actually. Little guy's a trooper, man. And I don't mean like I put him in a basket and carried him for 13.1 miles. He ran the 13.1 miles with me. That little dog, that little 7-pound boy, he's a beast. And he does not complain a single bit. He complains that I don't take him out to do more every day. Yes, I'm a person who believes that dogs have personalities. Oh, you know what? If I survive these two, and then I'll get my 2 survivals. and then we'll switch to Zwift after that and finish out the ride. So my boy, he'll be on the channel more in the future, and then I'll be recording my adventures outside of, you know, the Zwifting and the video games. I'm excited for that. Hope you are too. Gonna be doing a lot of different activities. But that's another way that I rest too, is I can't cycle all the time. So sometimes I run, sometimes I swim, sometimes I kayak. Depends on the day. Or volleyball lately. It's been my new one. You know, I've never survived this one when it was this difficult. And I may not do it today. Oh! I did it today. Hilarious. Woo, are we gonna get a big view? This might be a big view. It might also not be a big view. We'll see. Big view? Big view? Maybe we already passed it. That's fine. It's still fun to ride next to these big bicycles. Woo! We still got 3 miles to go. We're about to start this final round. After this final round, we'll go to the Zwift. Hopefully we can pull another dub. Well, one of our guys already fell. Just trying to stay away from the fan here. All right, 2 of our guys are down. Hopefully this guy doesn't grief me. That's 3 of our guys. So it looks like it's left to me. Uh-oh. No! Not today, friends. Not today. We couldn't seal the deal. It's all right. Cool, we'll go here. And this is where we'll finish out. We'll let the music continue on the game. Just give us something to listen to while we finish our ride. We have 2 miles left to go. Looks like we still have some incline. I say we climb it out. How about that? We'll finish out strong. A good way to finish our rest with a little bit of pushing. Let's see if we can average 250 at least, or higher. You can see that my heart rate is at 140. Very well rested. A little bit of a decline. Harder to keep my watts up on a decline because work is done by gravity. So, and stick it around 200. Keep our RPMs at 78. Excuse me, 70, 80, somewhere in there. Trying to go into the upper 70s at least. And finish this ride strong. 2 miles to go. Easy. Oh, I think we might have a sprint too. Oh, I think we do have a sprint. Sweet. We'll crank this one out. Where's the starting line? There it is. Vamos, vamos. Vamos. Ah. Vamos. Vamos. Come on. Come on. Vamos. Come on. Come on. Come on. Woo. Woo. Oh. Ah. Not bad. Not bad. Woo. Got 4th place. Oh, oh my heart. Woo. Whew. Rest. Ooh. What'll be great is one of these days I'm gonna be able to get 1st place in one of those sprints. It'll be awesome. Not today, but that's okay. That made the last 1 mile go by pretty fast though. Ooh. Got some rollers going. Oh, these rollers are brutal. I just hit the first roller, 6%, then it declines. Then you hit the next roller, the big incline. So the decline is coming up, then you see the incline. Now the goal is to get a little bit of speed on that decline, roll into the next incline with it. Here we go. Beautiful. And then difficult, easy. Easy, difficult. Whew. Come on. Oh, getting tired. Heart rate climbed back up from 150 to 160. Oh, difficult. Push, push, push. Push, push, push. Ah, easy. Almost there. Half a mile to go. No sweat. No sweat. And I think that was the end of the rollers. This is the last decline, and then we're home. Final stretch. This is where I did that big sprint the other day, right here in Hares versus Hounds. That was fun. Almost done. Almost done. Almost done. Here we go. Woo! Almost there. And complete. Woo! Downtown Titans. Whew. Thank you so much for joining me. Truly appreciate you. I'm sorry that I wasn't there for the first half of the stream, but happens sometimes. Sometimes life just gives you what it gives you. Gotta roll with it, like those rollers. All right, my friends, peace.